Once again, I welcome you online class, and today we are continuing with history lesson 1, Bamini Kingdom. So first, let's study about the foundation of Bamini Kingdom. So earlier in the last term, we studied about Tughlaq dynasty, isn't it? So in Tughlaq dynasty, there was a particular king named Muhammad bin Tughlaq. He was a very cruel king, and he imposed heavy taxes upon farmers, and because of his uh, harsh dealing, the economy became down, and there was crisis everywhere throughout the kingdom. So what happened during the later part of Muhammad bin Tughlaq's rule, several territories of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, they protested against the king. Several governors of some territories, for example, in the north, three important territories generals, they protested against the king. Okay, they were Awadh, Multan, and Sindh, which is located in Pakistan today. And finally, what happened in this protest? These governor generals, they refused to pay tax to the king, and they declared their territories as a separate kingdom, and they became the kings of those different territories. And in the south, one territory protested against the king. We all know only majority of territories of Sultanate belongs to northern part of India. So the Sultanate territory major part is from northern part. In South India, they had only very few, maybe two or three territories only they owned. So among these very few territories of South, one territory governor protested against Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Okay, and he wanted to dissect. He wanted to divide the territory from the Tughlaq dynasty, and he wanted to rule a separate kingdom. Okay, and the name of that governor general is Alauddin Hassan Shah, Alauddin Hassan Bahman Shah. He is the governor of Daulatabad territory. Okay, so with the help of surrounding military officers, he declared Daulatabad as a separate kingdom, and he declared himself as the king of Daulatabad. So finally, he became the king of the Bahmani kingdom. And the Bahmani kingdom is the first individual kingdom, individual Muslim kingdom in the north, in the south, okay, in the southern part of India. So he established the Bahmani kingdom in the year 1347. Okay, let's study about him. So Alauddin Hassan Bahman Shah, he ruled the kingdom for 11 years, that is from 1347 to 1358. So during his rule, he had a constant war against Vijayanagar and also three smaller kingdoms, that is Warangal, uh, Reddy kings of Rajmundri, and Kondavidu. Uh, these three, Varangal, Rajmundri, and Kondavidu, uh, they were paying taxes to Alauddin. Okay, but they refused to pay tax because of their protest. Often, it led to war with Alauddin Hasan Brahman Shah. Okay, he followed a system in which he divided his whole kingdom into four territorial divisions, and he placed a governor for each province. He also commanded an army general to control over all these four governors. Okay, but this system was worked well with the stronger kings, but with the weaker kings, it became unsuccessful. Okay, after the death of Alauddin Hassan Brahman Shah, his son succeeded the throne. So his son is Muhammad Shah I. So he ruled from 1358 to 1375. So he waged two wars with Vijayanagar, but he could not able to gain anything from it because the Vijayanagar king um, Krishnadevaraya, he had a strong army. So his army is huge in number compared with Brahmini, Muhammad Shah I's army. So he could not able to defeat them. But his attack on Warangal, he gained a huge property and wealth from Warangal. And also he captured the famous fortress of Golconda. He also uh, brought back the treasured turquoise throne. That is, throne is a seat of a king. A turquoise is a semi-precious stone. Okay, so using the semi-precious stone, the throne was made. It was a costly, precious throne. So he carried away the throne to his kingdom, to his territory. Uh, so from that onwards, all the remaining Bamini rulers, they ruled the kingdom by sitting on this throne. And he built two important mosques at Gulbarga. And he also invited a large number of Arabs, Turks, and Persians to migrate into Deccan part of India. So during his period, several uh, foreigners from Turkey, Persia, and Arab, they migrated because he invited them to Deccan part of India. And because of these people, the Islamic religion, it started to develop uh, during subsequent generations. Then after Muhammad Shah I, he was succeeded by his son Mujahid. So Mujahid, he went for a military expedition war with Vijayanagar kingdom. So while fighting, he could not able to defeat the Vijayanagar empire, and he came back. He returned back to Gulbarga, his own territory. While returning back, he was assassinated. He was murdered by his own cousin Dawood Khan, and he ushered the throne. Ushered means forcefully taking over. So, forcefully, he became the next king after killing his own cousin. Okay, but in the same year, Mujahid's sister, the sister of the murdered previous king. She murdered Dawood Khan. She murdered Dawood Khan, and his brother Muhammad Shah too ascended to the throne. So Muhammad Shah too ascended the throne, and for 11 years he had a peaceful uh, rule. There was no war for 11 years, and since he was at rest, he could able to concentrate his mind in architecture. So he built uh, several codes, and also he was learning different things when he was without war. Then afterwards he was succeeded by Muhammad III, Muhammad Shah III, but he was a young boy. So the kingdom was controlled by the governor general named Mahmud Gawan. So Muhammad Gawan, he was a Persian by birth. He was not the native of India. He was a Persian man, and he was well versed with Islamic theory, Persian language, and also he was a mathematician. He was also poet and prose writer. He was also a great military officer and also a great administrator. Okay, he could control the military affairs and also the administrative system of a kingdom. He used Persian chemists, that is, chemists who can deal with chemicals. Okay, and these chemists, they taught Bahmani army how to prepare gunpowder, and using this gunpowder, he dominated the Vijayanagar kings. And in order to tighten the administration and to restrict the power of provincial governors, he divided the existing four provinces into eight, so that to limit the area of each governor. So we studied previously uh, Alauddin Hassan Bahman Shah. He divided his whole kingdom into four parts, and he placed governors for each territory. But Mahmud Gawan, he divided the four territory into eight, so that the area will be limited, and he could control the powers of the governors, control the powers of the governors, so that they may not have a uh, authority over the kingdom. So the governors had misunderstanding with Muhammad Gawan. Since Muhammad Gawan, he he put strong laws against the governors. The local nobles, they were uh, they were angry with Muhammad Gawan, and they plotted plans to kill Gawan. Okay, and uh, these nobles and the local nobles, they went to the king, and they together they persuaded the king to murder Muhammad Gawan, and the king accepted to execute Muhammad Gawan, and finally he was killed. Okay, so decline of Bahmani kingdom. So, what happened after the death of Muhammad Gawan? The Bahmani kingdom became weaker. All the supporters, the foreign nobles of Gawan, they uh, they played a major role in the kingdom. They started to leave their province and move away from the king, which made the kingdom more weaker and weaker. And finally, after the death of Muhammad III, he was succeeded by his son Shihabuddin in 1518. And during his rule, the Bahmani kingdom started to disintegrate more and more. It started to diminish. It started to fade away. And after him, four more successors came to the throne, but they were kings only for the namesake. But slowly the kingdom was reaching towards the destruction. And finally, the Sultanate was gradually broken up into five independent Deccan kingdoms. They were Bidar, Bijapur, Ahmadnagar, Birur, and Golconda. And finally, the Bahmani kingdom was divided into five smaller kingdoms. Okay, now contribution of Bahmani sultans towards architecture. So there were mosques and palaces built in Gulbarga. So when you look at those architecture, we can find the greatness of the Bahmani Sultan's architecture, and also uh, archaeological excavations unearthed many different findings related to the architecture of Bahmani sultans. So they have unearthed palaces, halls of public audience, ambassadors' residence, many arches, domes, walls, and citadels. So all these excavations, they show the greatness in architecture of the Bahmani sultans. And finally, education. Contribution of Bahmani sultans regarding education. So the founder of Bahmani kingdom, Alauddin Hasan Shah, he was educated at Multan, which is in Pakistan today. So he took special care in founding a school to educate his children. And his son, Muhammad Shah, Muhammad Shah I, he was a great patron of learning. He opened institutions to educate children of noble families in the art of soldiery. So, how to train the uh, young people in military to educate them, he opened separate institutions. Then Sultan Feroz, the eighth Bahmani king, he was a linguist and a great poet. Linguist means patron of language. Okay. So later his successors founded schools in Gulbarga, Bidar, Daulatabad, and Kandahar. And Muhammad Gawan's world famous Madrasa in Bidar. Madrasa is a college. It was built in Bidar. Okay, it had a large library which contained 3,000 manuscripts. Manuscripts are written documents. So it had nearly 3,000 written documents and one of the world's famous library. Okay, with this Bahmani kingdom ended. So lesson 1 of history completed now. We'll meet in the next class. Have a nice day.